Firstly, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for dialing in. 2 o'clock on the 13th of January. Very important date because we're telling you about some real changes that's happening in Bira Direct and Bira here also. So Pip, could you please pass on to the holding slide for me? Thanks. A couple of points just on general housekeeping. One, obviously we're obeying as much as possible COVID regulations. So there's only David and I in the office. Pip is handling the presentation remotely, so you will hear the famous words, please move on, because I'm not passing on the slide, so apologies for that. Also, we've removed the chat facility because there are so many people on this webinar. The Q&A section, for those that haven't used it, if you just hover at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that logo come up, Q&A. Please drop in any questions you want during the meeting, and we'll cover as many of them as we can at the end. The other thing is this is being recorded, and anyone that wants a recording or wants the slide deck, reach out to Pip and Pip will send those on to you. So the one thing I would also say is any questions that come in, you're not quoted, so ask anything you want. It's free, you'll get as much out of the meeting as we possibly can by being as open as we can. So I think that's me covered the kind of general housekeeping. The only other thing is that some people may be looking at David and I as their main screen, and as obviously as attractive as we both are, there are a lot of slides, so make sure you're watching the slides, not us too. So if you need a second swap screen, that's okay. So if we could move on, please, Pip. We'll have 4 people presenting today, myself, David, who will introduce himself, who's our IT manager, Alan, who a lot of you know is the commercial manager of Bira Direct, and Pip Jones, who's our marketing manager. Changed to name, obviously just got married, but it's the same Pip, so that's all good. And Pip, if you could just move on just the slide for me, please. Just why do I think now is the time we all need to get together? Well, firstly, nothing to do with COVID restrictions. It's just we've got a lot to talk to you about. Hopefully you see a lot of you at Spring Fair, but for those that aren't going or it's not your show, this is a real opportunity for Bira Direct to say what we're doing, how we've changed, how we're changing in the future, but more importantly, how you can get involved with growing your business with our members and other retailers. So Pip, if you just move on for me, please. What I thought I'd do is give you a brief overview of what we're going to cover. I'm going to talk about how we've improved and built a stronger balance sheet, how we're improving cash flow for Bira Direct, why we've improved the cash flow so we can invest in new IT facilities, the expanding reach of Bira Direct, how we'll be bringing more retailers to you, and a couple of retail initiatives we're doing and how you can actually engage and market probably more effectively with us. So let's give you a business overview, please, Pip. So moving on, right, there you go. So obviously our 2020 accounts have been published, which were good, but better still, our 2021 accounts, in directors meeting, we signed off the final figures this week. Pleased to say that Bira Direct have had a growth this year of over 10% in what is still a challenging trading period. Obviously our DIY and hardware businesses have done particularly well. Cookware not so badly, giftware has been hit. So overall a 10% growth we're very pleased with. We've also been able to deliver an EBIT figure, earnings before interest and tax, of over £400,000 profit. It's one of our best trading years. That's been paid back in dividends to the group, but we are keeping a large proportion to increase the reserves in Bira Direct. That gives you confidence in the credit facility, and it also makes us in a position where we no longer ever use an overdraft facility. We had an overdraft facility for years with Lloyds that we used to use during sequencing of when we paid you and when we finally got paid from our members, but I'm pleased to say we haven't used it once in 2021, and we no longer have an overdraft need. So we fund the business totally from ourselves. We've done that primarily from looking at reducing our DSO, daily sales outstanding. So going into this, we were 57 days on average collecting payments from members. We set the KPI at 45 for this year, and I'm pleased to say we've beaten it every single month of the year. Always to be honest, December was 45 days, so we just scraped in, so I can still say we've managed it. But that's a massive change for us because now we're actually managing to fund the business with our own cash flow. That gives us a big opportunity to invest better. And we've spent over £100,000 in new IT for members this year. and we'll be spending even more in 2022. So it would be useful for me to give you an indication of how we've spent that. So Pip, could you move on, please? Part of the presentation is IT and what we've invested in. There's a brand new ordering platform that we've given out, and it will be launched at Spring Fair. It's called BuyerDirect Plus. It's an app-based system presently, but at Spring Fair it will be a desktop. And interestingly, as we started to talk to certain suppliers already and onboarding them, and David will go through that in a moment, it's interesting how many have got apps. So I'm going to ask you, there's a poll facility which Pip will drop up. So we just do a quick poll and we'll give you the feedback. Again, it's not by name. How many people on the call have actually got a B2B app that they offer to their customers currently to order from? Be interesting to see what that figure is, and Pip will run that up for us. So if you already have a B2B app and you're currently using it in your business, then vote yes. If you don't have an app, even if you're investing in one but you don't have one at the moment, please vote no. And Pip will give me that figure as I'm going through. So Pip, could you just move on for me, please, if possible? So what I want to do is, you might want to take that app offering. Can you drop it down the screen a bit, Pip?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise.
That's all right. Okay. Just a couple of quick facts why we're investing in it. Well, quite clearly, 83% of all business mobile users say that the app is an important way of growing your business. And now 51% of all business queries are coming on a B2B app. These are figures supplied by the data industry. And interestingly, we've got a 91% increase in the number of people using B2B apps in business. So it's a method that we need to go forward. So Pip, you move forward for me. I think, why are we launching this online ordering portal now? Well, I think we've already explained to you that more businesses are moving to it, but more importantly, our members are asking for it. We've asked our members how they want to trade forward, and digitally is the answer. Digital ordering, digital selling. So we want to make it easier for members to place orders, less friction. We want to be able to offer the best ordering and fulfillment journey, not just for our members, but also to you, our suppliers. So it's a seamless opportunity. What the app will do, it will give our members full visibility of pricing and stock from all participating suppliers. Now that's dependent on the settings you want. We have some suppliers currently who want to show if the product ordered is in stock. We have some that will actually happily show what the stock levels are. The key is showing the pricing and if the order can be placed. That is absolutely critical, but David will work with you to show what information you want or don't want on the app. But it allows suppliers to interact far more meaningfully with our members because you've got direct access to them. It's also crucial because as we expand the reach of BuyerDirect, and we'll be talking about how we're going further to market, not just with our own members, it will be a great way of moving forward. But the key really is how you can push launch offers and promotions and push messaging. It gives you the flexibility you want. I received an email from a supplier today talking about proposed price increase. Emails can go into spam, they cannot be read, they can be lost, people can deny they've received them. We're moving on in technology. What this allows you to do is a push notification to every member on the B2B app to say, we've changed our pricing structure, it comes effective X. Every member will get that. More importantly, when they place their orders, they will know what the price is. So you will have less queries on pricing. So that's why we're ordering it. That's why we're putting that ordering app together. So Pip, could you move on one more slide for me, please? I think it will be easily identifiable. You can download the app now. It's currently working. We are launching it officially at Spring Fair, but it's there now. You can download it in App Store, in Google Play, and it'll soon be on desktop as well. Clearly identified as BuyerDirect Plus, and you can get access into it. Unfortunately, you can't use it because you need us to authorize you to get in. But once you show an expression of interest, we'll get you in, we'll give you a demo, and we'll show you how it works. For those suppliers currently on it, obviously they're seeing the benefits of it. So Pip, could you move on for me, please? More importantly, why is it a good ordering portal for you, our trading partners? Why should you look at it? Why should you invest in it? I've covered the fact that it gives you direct access to our members, so you can reach out to every member on a basis of who hasn't ordered from you, who has ordered but hasn't ordered the products that you really want to push, or new joiners who've never ordered from you before. So you can segment your marketing and you've got direct access to them. What that will do, obviously increases your sales and your profit line, because you're pushing what you want to promote, as opposed to just waiting for orders coming through on a web-based system. It increases customer retention because it does the main thing, it builds closer relationships. And I think for me, that the key thing to this is that the figures speak for themselves, that people are purchasing on apps 3 times more than they are on mobile websites. 18 times more people are on apps than on sites, increasing order participation. And secondly, it delivers higher retention rates. And those are industry facts. That's not me quoting them. Could you move on a bit, please, Bill? Thank you. And I think if we really outline the other areas, the whole idea of increasing loyalty and convenience, it just gives a very reliable transaction process from member to supplier to buyer direct. And that triangle works really well. It also brings many new retailers to your business as we expand our reach in the market. And what I mean by that is we are, from Spring Fair, launching buyer direct to non-buyer members. We have retailers who don't want to join buyer for whatever reason. They might be someone else, but they want to buy through the buying group. So what we do to validate the value of the buyer membership, anyone who's not a buyer member that wants to use buyer direct will pay £12.50 a month for that privilege. If they do, £12,000 in 12 months, they get that money back to them in the fact that we will give them buyer membership or we give them a credit note. So we're investing in it. And the idea is it will extend our reach, but ultimately extend your opportunity. And by using the app to do that, it's got inbuilt security. It will allow you to launch new products. It will allow you to actually interact specifically with individuals or groups, but it gives you the opportunity, and your sales forces the opportunity, to work with members to put orders together. You'll see that you've got favorites, you can rebuild orders. It's very good. The other thing is it's very quick and accurate to notify pricing or availability. If you've got stock issues, rather than having to wait to get an order and then say you can't do it, you can update it. And people are looking at their apps. 150 times a day, people look at their mobile phones. Every app notification is validated, so it will be going directly to the user. And I think the better clarity and control of member ordering, because as a member, he'll be able to come to your business and say, I want to order that. He will see if it's in stock. If it's not, you can show an alternative because you can build that into the app as well. So rather than losing an order from not having stock, you can offer alternatives. You can also have individual pricing. So some members buy at different prices from you than other members. That's not a problem because every pricing file will be set up for the individual member. So it still gives you the flexibility you want while giving you the clarity and the control on the app. The key thing is at the moment, we ask that when members place orders over £1,500, to avoid issues on credit and debt, we ask you to get an authorization. Moving forward, every single order that you get on the app needs no credit clearance, because if we've given the member access to place his orders, we've got full confidence in him using that app. So now there is a less of a limit to order value. And also it takes another control out of your account system. So you no longer need to check if that order will be approved by buyer, because if you get it on the app, we see it exactly the same time as you see it. And if we have any risk or concerns with members, we just withdraw their access to placing orders on the app at any time. So it speeds up the process, but it gives you confidence. And I think for me, what it does is it builds this really strong triangle between you as a supplier, the member and buyer direct. And really that information flow is so much quicker, faster, and removes credit risk, but also allows you to market far more effectively. So for me, it's a complete no-brainer. You should expect I'm pushing because I think it's good for buyer direct, but I also know it's good for you. And those suppliers that are currently on it are seeing it already, even though we don't. I think we've got, David will tell you, I think we've got about 30 members working on it at the moment because we wanted to make sure we had a beta launch before Spring Fair. So what I would like to do is I'll ask David, I'll introduce David now, and he'll show you a video of how the app works. Again, please put any questions and answers in and we'll handle them. But the video is only a couple of minutes, but it gives you an idea of what it's currently doing. And so you'll see how it works. Pip, could you please play the video and I'll pass over to you, David.
Thank you.
Welcome to a preview and user guide for the Byra Direct Plus ordering app. Byra Direct Plus makes ordering more flexible from anywhere and on any device direct to your Byra Direct account. After clicking on the Byra Direct Plus icon, the login screen will appear. First-time users will receive their login credentials via email. Simply log in and you're ready to go. The main menu helps you to navigate the application with ease. First, select which Byra Direct supplier you'd like to order from. Searching for a product couldn't be easier. Once you have found the required item, simply click, enter the quantity you want, the unit of measure, and click Confirm. You'll always see your Byra Direct preferential pricing. A basket icon will appear beside the product to confirm it has been added to your order. You can keep track of how many items you have in your basket with the icon at the top right of the page. You can search for products by name, product code, or by entering a search word. And if you're using a mobile phone or tablet, you can search by barcodes using your device's camera. Access further product detail by clicking the Information button, including further information or detailed PDFs of the product. Stay up to date with all the latest Byra Direct offers and promotions directly on your device. The Byra Direct Plus portal will always be updated with the latest promotional features like multi-buy, price discounts, and customized special promotions and offers, so you can keep saving money on your product buying. Customers can set up and maintain shopping lists based on purchase history or recommended items. Once the basket is complete, all the order information will be presented at checkout. After submitting your order, you'll receive an email confirmation and the order will be processed and delivered as usual. Your complete order history is available in the app, and to save time, you can even reorder from previous ones or jump straight to your favorite products. Start saving time and money with Byra Direct Plus. Download now from the App Store or Google Play.
Over to you, David.
So, moving on to the technical side, the big question is, how do you go live in the portal? Firstly, we need some data, but the most important bit is getting the detail correct. We can't be showing prices, stock levels, delivery dates that are different to your own systems, as that will only create queries. So it's important that the data is accurate, kept up to date regularly, and the rules are set accordingly. There are all sorts of ways we can get hold of your data. We can use something as simple as spreadsheets. We can log into your systems. You can send us data automatically, or we can connect to an API. Once an order is placed, we can then send the order back to you electronically, which can be something as simple as a PDF to your customer services, or an email or something that is actually integrated into your system. All ways are available. Every supplier will have different rules on pricing and delivery. We haven't yet had a rule we have failed on, although Jeff's not quite convinced. If you can describe the rule to us and present it in the data, then we can work with it. And we do some bespoke work outside if we really need to, but that hasn't happened as yet. Moving on, the next slide shows us the setup area that the developers use. And you can see where all the mapping goes on and the amount of rules that we've got available within the system. There's tens of rules and tens of things that we can set up to make the data work and present it correctly to the members. As it stands, we've got suppliers selling singles, boxed quantities and pallets. We have minimum orders. We have carriage paid orders. We have carriage paid for different parts of the country, such as the islands and Northern Ireland. And we have special pricing for members that buy in volume and different areas like that. So not caught out as yet. Moving on to the next slide. The data we require comes in a few files. The product file, as you would expect, contains the basic description of the goods, including size, weight, colour, and so on. Most importantly, we require the selling price to the buyer members after discount, an image URL so we can display pictures, and some categorisation so that we haven't got one long list of products to scroll through. Even at this point, it's about talking to us. Not everyone will have a web-enabled image library, but if the images are available somewhere on your systems and can be sent to us, then we can map to them, download them to our servers, or do what we need to make them presentable in the app. The second file is the customer file, and should contain name, address, as you would expect, but also needs the buyer membership number and your account number. And the important thing here is that with your account number, we can then tell you which supplier is, or which member is a regular customer of yours and which is a new customer, because there will be times and different suppliers work in different ways, but you will need to set up an account for a new member, and you may also have an application form or some other process that you go through with new customers. So that's just to check your end, and we can tell you it's a new order rather than a regular repeating customer. The third file we're after is a stock file, and generally that is just the description of the goods and how many you've got in stock. Now, not all members and all suppliers can actually show or want to show their stock in that detail. You know, you may only have a stock holding of one, which is what you hold, but and don't really want to show that in the app. So there are different ways we can do things. We can show available, unavailable. We can show the actual amount if that's what you want, or we can show something like high, low, out of stock, depending on where you feel the numbers best fit to you. We also know that you'll have special customers with a special discount, mainly on volume or just because he's a friend of the business or whatever it might be. You can tell us this data in the customer file, tell us what the special discount is, or tell us what the secondary price list is, because there might be a gold, silver and bronze level or something in your pricing, and we'll map that customer to that price list to make sure they're being shown the correct prices. Moving on to Pip. We like the data to be updated every day if possible, especially if the data is being fed to us at system level. That way we can see that the data is actually coming to us and hasn't got stuck somewhere in the internet. For suppliers with smaller ranges where products and prices don't change often, we can take manual uploads of spreadsheets that only get updated as and when price increases happen or new products go on sale. Part of the transfer of data is to ensure we're doing things securely. From the outside world, we only let certain IP addresses in behind our firewall, so generally people can't get in. And we also keep each supplier's data in separate areas of the server so that you can only see your own setup and your own data. And finally, the way to go live is to have a chat with Alan or Jeff. Can we move on, please? To discuss the app in more detail. Once agreement is made, then usually your IT department will talk to the developers and myself to discuss a setup plan. We'll then start to map the data once received, set up the rules and test before go live. It's usually a 12-week plan to go live, but that depends on the volumes of suppliers we're working with, any development work we may need to do, and of course the availability of your staff. As Jeff kind of mentioned earlier, we currently have 4 suppliers fully tested and live in the system, with a further 10 suppliers not too far away from going live. We also have around 30 members that have downloaded the app and have started placing orders. So we now feel we're in a place to, or a good place to launch the app or the portal at Spring Fair in February. So finally on that, we'd just like to see more suppliers coming on board in the next few months to ensure that members get the best buying experience possible. So now over to Alan and Pip to discuss the marketing opportunities with Buyer Direct.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, David. So we'll start off talking about your supplier pages. We'll just do a quick poll to start off with to find out how many of you are updating your supplier page, or if you know how to do it.
Again, Pip, let everyone know that's kind of anonymous, because some people might be embarrassed to say they've never been on the supplier page. But
yeah,
we've got other suppliers that are on it every day, so that'll be interesting.
So just waiting for the last couple of people to enter there. So quite impressively, we've got about 66% know how to update their supplier page, and then 19%, sorry, don't know, and 15% aren't sure. So I'll just go through really quickly the best practice for your supplier page and how to keep it up to date.
And also bearing in mind that the pages have changed significantly in the last couple of months, so people may have updated in the past but not aware of how it's changed since. Yeah.
So let's move on to the next slide. The main benefits of your supplier page is that it's the main place where our members will be able to find new suppliers, check the terms of the existing suppliers that they use, and also download all the latest offers, promotions and price lists. A couple of rules that we have for updating a supplier page is that only one email address or contact can be used to update the supplier page. The best practice is that your page is updated at least once a quarter with new images, price lists and promotions. This just keeps everything up to date, and this is the area where our members will keep on going to check for the latest information. So it's just good housekeeping really, just to keep that all up to date and the same level as it is on your own systems. These changes go through our back-end system and are then approved manually. This takes about 2 working days to be done. Each link that you upload needs to be checked, and we need to check for any kind of typos or any image formatting that might need changing. So that's all done manually and then is sent live for our members to see. So the best way to update your supplier page is by logging into the website. If you're not sure of your password or your login credentials, you can just press forgotten password and you should be able to get a new email trigger to log into the website. If you're set up as being the main contact, you just go into your membership area and you'll see quite clearly there it says where to edit your supplier page, or if you're not sure, there's a big button there which shows you a list of instructions on how to update your supplier page. So the best practice is to just every time you have a new price list or promotion, to go into the members area and upload those. Make sure to include things like your carriage paid, how to order, and if you're trading on Biro Direct Plus, it's good to highlight that in that area as well. So you've also got the opportunity to add in things like video and imagery, and you can have up to 3 promotions and 3 price lists running at any one time. If you have any problems in getting onto your supplier page, just let me know, and we can have a look and sort that out for you. So I'll just hand over to Alan now to talk about the Promotions Hub. So over to you, Alan.
Thanks, Pip. Afternoon, everyone. Promotions Hub is a perfect place for you to launch new products and ranges to our members. Any new ranges that are featured in the Promotions Hub, we will also feature in the news section of the website for you as well. Ideally, any promotions you've got running on a weekly, monthly or quarterly basis will all be run to the Promotions Hub. To be included in the hub, all you need to do, like Pip just mentioned, is download your promotion into your supplier page. The marketing team will then copy this across into the hub area. The Promotions Hub is featured along with the offer of the week in the weekly newsletter and is distributed to all members and potential members on a weekly basis on a Monday afternoon. So Pip will now continue talking about other marketing opportunities available to you. Thanks, Pip.
Thanks, Alan. So just a couple of things about your promotions. The way that they're ordered in our Promotions Hub is which ones are running out first. So it's really important that if you've got an end date on there, that you include the end date, or if it's that you're kind of getting rid of the last of your stock, that you put that it's while stock's last, so that it can be put in the appropriate area. As Alan said, when you upload those promotions into your supplier page, we'll pull them off and put them into that promotions area for you. If you've got an offer that you'd like to use for the offer of the week, then the best person to contact is Alan and to talk through your promotion, and we can get it scheduled in to be the offer of the week. The best practice for those promotions as well are clear. They show what's on offer for BIRA members and have a membership benefit for them, and include the date that they're valid until. As well as the promotions hub, there's various other different channels that we can use to promote you to our members and to increase your visibility. You can become a content partner with us. Through that, basically what that means is if you provide content for us, we can promote that out via email, on newsletters, across our social media channels, and various relevant other places on the website. The main areas of content that we share with members could be about selling channels. So for example, if you offer drop shipping and you have a good case study for drop shipping and how that would help members, you can provide us with some content, or we can work together to create a blog or something about that, and that can be featured in various places on the website. If you have POS or any example social media posts to promote your ranges, again, feel free to share those with us, and we can be an extension of your marketing team in a way that we're an extra platform for you to be able to reach out to customers. Things like industry updates as well. If you've won any awards, or if it's a special anniversary of the length of business, then again, we want to hear about it. We want to be able to put that in our newsletters. Also, finally, we're making a big splash on sustainability. We're trying to be a net zero business. If you've got any updates, for example, if you're reducing the plastic in your packaging, or if there's anything that you're doing to make changes, sustainable changes, we want to hear about that, and our members want to hear about that too. So please just send them over to me, and we'll get those scheduled in and out to our members. Finally, just talking about our channels that we have available, we do regular supplier e-shots out to our members. They have an open rate of 39.15% and an average click rate of 7.6%. If you want to get a e-shot with a special promotion booked in, then the best person to speak to discuss your offer is Alan, and then that will then get passed through to the marketing team, and we'll start creating that e-shot for you. We also ran a shop window competition in December that some of you got involved with. This worked really well for us. We saw a 14.4k organic impressions from just a single post in that campaign. It's a really good way to get your product showcased to members and to get them involved, and to get that extra level of visibility out there. We can run things like prize draws and competitions to members on social media as well. So if you're interested in that, let us know, and we'll keep you posted on when our next shop window competition will be. And then just finally, our social media channels for BIRA Direct are just on the presentation above. If you want to interact with us on social media, that again, it just gives us an extra level of visibility to members on our socials there, and gets them interacting and gets a bit of conversation flowing there. So please interact with us on socials as well. So for the last bit of the presentation, I'm going to pass you back over to Jeff to talk about Spring Fair. So yeah, thanks.
Cheers, Pip. One thing that Pip didn't say, and rightly so, is that when we ask you to participate, it isn't a way of generating income. All those activities are totally free to access. What we want to do is get you communicating better, more efficiently, and more often with members, because it will result in increased sales. So if you want to do e-shots and you want to do mail shots, please reach out to us, because we're really eager to push those forward. Just moving on to Spring Fair, and I'm conscious that not everyone will be at Spring Fair. Unfortunately, with Ambiente being cancelled, Spring Fair becomes even more important for the sector. Incidentally, those people that were perhaps attending Ambiente and may not be at Spring Fair, we've got a buyer village. There's a bit of a layout there, and we can increase that up until the end of next week. So if someone does want to come in at a relatively low cost, because we just pass it on at the cost to us, you know, we can get you there. But you'd need to let Alan know by the end of next week. I think we've got a village, and we're with Beta, as we've done before. We always try and partnership with Beta because that works well for members and for suppliers. So that's a joint partnership. The stand, as you know, will be 8E70. But what we've done this year is we've launched the voucher scheme. And the idea of the voucher scheme is we used it exclusively this year, really effective. But we also did it at Spring Fair 20, and it was our most successful ever member incentive. So Pip, if you could just put this voucher on for me. So what we've said on this is that we're looking to give away £100 to every buyer direct user who goes to participating suppliers at the show. The key is they have to be at the show. It has to be placed at the show, and the £100 is taken off, and we've got a brief for everyone on there. It's a strong offer for us. We are also partnering with Hive at Spring Fair that every person that comes to the show is actually given this incentive. Again, broadening the reach of buyer direct, not just to buyer members, but to non-members. So this will be available to anyone that wants to join Buyer or use Buyer Direct coming to the stand. And the stand will be about member acquisition, member development, but also talking about some other things which I'll come on to in a moment. So for those suppliers, you'll all be getting a brief sent out to you from Pip, which will come out next week. But if you want to participate as you did it exclusively, let us know, because you'll be printed on the map of which participating suppliers are out there. But it's a great opportunity, you know. If a member spends £500, gets £100 off, that's a great incentive, and it gets them. But you can also link it that it could be spent on products they've never purchased, or it could be on new ranges that you're launching. So we can tailor-made it for you. But it's a very strong offer. One, it increases footfall at the show, but more importantly, it adds real value to that buyer direct member and supplier partnership that I talked about. So it's an offer we really want everyone to get involved in. Pip, if you could just move forward for me, please. I want to tell you something else at Spring Fair. When I talked earlier about we've invested a lot of money in IT, being 100K in the year, there's a lot more money being invested in our B2C platform, which is called Near2. And that's not just for Buyer Direct, but it has a knock-on effect. And the reason I want to talk to you about Near2 is that it will grow your business as well as growing our members. But predominantly, this platform was put together because our members, the change in channel of distribution, and they wanted us to offer them a digital solution. So Pip, could you move forward one for me, please? So why did we go down the idea of a B2C platform when there's American giants out there and there's other trading platforms? Well, the reason we looked at it is that 45% of all stores on the high street are independents, and they need to be able to reach out better than they are doing socially and digitally, but also they are the lifeblood of their local communities. Interestingly, for every £100 million spent on Amazon, it creates 14 jobs. For every £10 million spent on independence, it creates something like 47 jobs. 57 jobs. The other thing for me is that, if we could get everyone in the country to spend £5 a week at local businesses, that would increase turnover from 13.5 billion. It's a staggering figure, but it's easily achievable. And I think the other two things which are really interesting is that every time anyone spends £100 locally, 50 to 70 pound of that stays in the community. And we're all about shopping local, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But even Visa, their research this year shows that 54% of people believe shopping locally is important, and 43% of consumers say shopping locally gives them a boost of happiness. Now, I'm all for happiness, but I'm also for growing business for independent retailers. So Pip, could you put the next slide on for me, please? So what I did was I broke the slide down to say, why is Near2 such an opportunity for our members? And if it's good for our members, they'll sell more, they will buy more from you, it's good for all of us. But in terms of why Near2 works well, one, it's owned by the independents. everything we do in BIRA is for our members. So this platform is owned by BIRA membership. It was voted for by BIRA members to get us to invest in it. It will offer greatly reduced cost savings and time. We'll talk about it being the lowest price platform in the market in a second, but it is very easy for our members, be they new entrants to digital marketing or existing entrepreneurs doing well digitally, to upload, because you can do single product uploads, or we can do automatic uploads from other platforms as we're currently doing. So if our members are on Shopify or WooCommerce, it's an automatic upload. If they use POS system, if they use RBA, they can upload all their content onto it straight away. We're just about to launch with BigCommerce as well. So if a member is currently trading, they can copy and link that entire trading price list and platform straight over automatically. We also are offering tutorials for those members that have never sold online, but at least it gets them present. The other thing why it will work is because some of our members might say, well, on my own, I'm not sure how big the order would be and would a consumer want to buy from it. They will be part, because it is not a standard third-party platform. So they can be part of orders from other retailers generating one invoice to the consumer, which I'll come on to. It will be a nationally advertised platform for them. So yes, it's a local platform, but they will have national coverage as well. The other key thing is every reseller, be it a BIRA member or a non-BIRA member who sells on that platform, gets their money instantly. It's not held back by a third party for 14 days or for customer returns. They get it. It's their platform. They get the money. Could you move on one for me, please, Pip? I think for the consumer, the other real big point is that it's putting money back into a local economy, and we're already getting traction now. We don't launch this until Spring Fair, but you can go online now. You can look at it, www.near2.co.uk. You can download it, but it's in a beta form. It's launched officially, and all the press rollout starts at Spring Fair. Shoppers, it gives them the confidence to know where they're buying from, and I'll explain that to you in a second. In that, you buy on some lines. I hold my hands up. I bought something at Christmas, was something I needed, and when it came back, even the postage mark, you can see where it had come from, and it wasn't Europe. This gives them strength in knowing where they're buying from, and because every seller on there has their own profile, their own avatar. It talks about the shop, and I'll show you that in a moment. What it does, it also reduces delivery mileage, because you can do click and collect, or you can go and collect in shore, or you could actually just go and visit, but it's doing it through its environment. The other thing is it's an inbuilt Google Maps search. So if I'm going to Chester for the day and I want to shop local, I can look at all the independent shops in Chester and I can pin them on Google. I can actually plan my tour around. I could go and collect from them, or I could deliver from them. But it's all about local communities, and it's all about independent businesses. We will only allow independent retailers to go on there. We will allow bricks and mortar and pure digital players. We do not control pricing. We do not control access. What we do is we control who has access and who sells on the platform, because it's owned by our members. And I think what I really want to say is about Near2 is it's providing that kind of shop local, shop safe, and shop responsibly. It's what all consumers are talking about, supporting the local economy. So Pip, if you just put a graphic up for me on the screen. I've highlighted here the very first thing you see when you go onto that, and you'll see the page, is that it shows you where you are because it picks up your postcode. So it will always search by postcode and locality, not by price. So when you're looking for a product, it will show you which retailers locally sell that product, as opposed to which retailers are the cheapest in the market. Because at the moment, people still want to, and let's hope they continue, to shop locally and support local business. So it's a totally different idea than what's going on in the marketplace. So it's an easy sign-up platform. Last slide on this, really, Pip, just so I don't want to take up everyone's day with it. When I said you get a persona, every person that sells on that platform has to have their own avatar, their own persona, talking about their store. So you know as a consumer who you're buying from, be it Papyrus, be it Co's, and we've got all types of retailers going on: fashion, cookware, housewares, DIY, hardware. We've got Pexton's up in York, so every sector's covered. But what it does is it shows the consumer who they're buying from. So they're not buying from some robot based in China. They're buying from an independent business based in the UK. and they can see how close they are. The map will search to 20 miles, but as more people go on, it will condense down to 10. You can widen your search, but it's about shopping locally, and it's about shopping independent, which is why Borough has invested so much money in it. Again, that will be launched at Spring Fair. Stand number BE76. Go and have a look at it. You can have a look online now, but the official launch, as I say, is going to be at Spring Fair. For me, it's another development of how Borough is trying to really push its members into looking favourably into the new forms of retail. So, Pip, could you just put the last kind of presentation slide up for me, please? I'm conscious of time. We're launching an initiative which will affect DIY hardware as well as cookware. We've just got sign off, in fact, we got it today from Trading Standards. So MOPAC, the Mayor's Office, Policing and Crime in London, Met and Trading Standards have worked together with us to actually agree certification for safe knife retailing. And why is it important? Well, we all know that the Offensive Weapons Act was passed, but it's now starting to be administered. And we've got independents being visited daily and checked on selling. What we said with Trading Standards is we have now put together a training pack with MOPAC so that people can go on board, train themselves on how to sell responsibly, how to display responsibly, but also it's a kind of question and answer that they've got to go through and they have to fulfill it to get on board. The reason we're doing it is because we want to keep that business. It's worth £100 million a year selling knives in the UK. And there's somewhere like 400 million knives already out there. We can't do anything about that, but we can be responsible about the knives that are being sold going forward. And I think with more and more majors pulling out, people like TK Maxx not selling single access knives and other supermarkets, it's actually a great opportunity for independents. But we want it to be a responsible growth, and that's where Borough sits. So it's an initiative we launch, that will be at Spring Fair as well. So we're looking at ways that we can actually grow the market, but do it responsibly. So really the last slide, Pip, before I go in, just what I wanted to end up with just saying that Borough is all about investing in the long-term kind of stability and strength of independence. And we believe now that, yes, we support bricks and mortar, but we also support independents who've changed the way they trade. So for us, it's all about omni-channel is the future of independent, and Borough will be there supporting our members now and in the future with a massive investment in year 2. So what I'd like to do, hopefully, is I'll answer some questions. I've just put the holding slide on for me, Pip. We've got probably 10 minutes for some questions coming through. So if I look a bit blank, I'm going to have to put my glasses on and start reading these questions, and then I'll pass them to colleagues. So one, thank you. There's a lot of questions coming in. So firstly, will Borough members be able to place orders without using the app? Unfortunately, yes. There's my honest answer. We won't stop members. We can't force members to use the app. We can only lead them to it. We believe that by encouraging more suppliers to come on board and showing the benefits, then members will go to it. But we certainly won't be switching off in the next 12 months the way they currently order. Okay. Can we use the B2B portal to create orders for our members? Yes, you can. Any supplier that comes on board with the app, David, please tell me if I'm wrong, but we will offer the facility for their sales force to have it as well?
Yes, as a secondary login for salespeople on the road or customer service on the telephone to put the order through the app.
Yeah, and I think there's a feature that we've built in that you can generate the order, but the retailer would have to approve it before it goes through. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, you can use it to build orders. So if you are lucky enough to have a sales force on the road, you can do it. We could even do it over the telephone. So again, you're using the app to grow it. Thanks, David. How many suppliers do you currently have trading on Borough Direct Plus? We're running it as a beta system. We've got 4 suppliers that we've tested now. We've got 10 that will go on live, I think, hopefully by the time we get to Spring Fair or very close to it. So that's 14. Critical for us is to get to over 50% of our turnover, which makes it a sustainable feature. Do you have statistics on how many members are using the app? Yeah, we've only allowed 30 to test at the moment. That's across all areas. From Spring Fair, it's open access to everyone, and we'll start to share that data with you. For browsing products, how many have used the app? That's 30, because we've only allowed 30 people access to it. Key will be how we actually promote that and how we incentivize people to use it on their first order, because it generates business for you, but also it removes cost and gives kind of transparency to us. If we are confident on stock levels, do we need to show these? You don't need to show stock levels. David, I think
we can switch it off per supplier, or we can do something like available, unavailable, just as a marker to say whether you stock it or not.
Yeah, and I think that the whole idea is that we're not setting the limits of what you can say. We're trying to be as flexible as we can. We've got one supplier that's quite happy to show all the stock. Someone else just wants to say, yes, I can fulfill that order, or no, I can't. And those are the parameters that can be built into it. I'm trying to read this. Regarding the supplier directory, once you have made all the required changes to your page internally, is there a way of viewing your page externally? Pip, once the suppliers made their changes to the Biro webpage, do they get a copy of it, or they can look at it themselves, can't they?
So the way that the users work on our system is that if you're a supplier, you'll see your page as a supplier. So you'll only see the profile section and the product section. You won't see any of that kind of promotional stuff. What we can do, if you want to send us a request to see what it looks like, we can send you a full screen screenshot of what it looks like to members. That's not a problem at all. We just wouldn't be able to show you the links on there, but we would be able to put a list of what links to what on there for you as well. That's no problem.
Okay. We've got a couple of questions which I could combine if possible about Spring Fair. One says, if I'm not at Spring Fair, can I be part of the incentive? This voucher promotion is purely at Spring Fair, but if you aren't at Spring Fair, what Alan is putting together is a hub of offers, which will be people that aren't at Spring Fair can do it, but we cannot use the £100 voucher, because part of the kind of agreement we've put through with Hive at Spring Fair is it's to drive traffic to Spring Fair. You can be at Spring Fair, a very limited cost on the Borough Village. I'm not sure, but it's not thousands. I think it's about £1,500, but Alan will bear that out so you can have access. The other thing is who funds it. What we've done is that we've increased the voucher, we believe, from 50 to 100. And what we're saying with all participating suppliers, Biro would pay £50 and we're asking the supplier to pay 50. So it's £50 contribution for you to get a £500 order. And it seems to have worked very, very well. We've increased the order value from 300 to 500, because when we looked and did the analysis on the orders, the majority orders were £450 up. So why incentivize people to place lower orders? So we thought we'd actually get more business for you by taking it up to £500. So anyone that wants to take part of the voucher, reach out to, as I say, to Pip or Virginia, and they'll give you the brief. But what we'll do, we'll post up on the Biro website for suppliers how you can get involved.
Another question is, will we be able to use supplier video content on the app? Straight answer is yes. We have a media area for suppliers to drop data into, so that can be product demos, how-to videos, it can be PDFs of your catalogue, whatever you want to put in there and show to the members. That's where it goes.
And someone's asked very quickly, what does it cost to get onto the Biro B2B app? Well, it's the same for every supplier, which is that it costs us £3,000 to get you onto the app. We pay 50%, so we pay £1,500, and we ask for the supplier to pay £1,500, and we work that out with you over whatever period you can pay it. But we split the app development. The difference with our B2B solution and others is it's a one-off integration. You don't pay any development, and it's not a yearly charge. We don't charge you each year. Once you're on, you're on. All development charges are ours. So it's not a money-making platform. Basically, it's trying to grow your business now. So we split the cost 50-50. So hopefully that's answered that one. I really need to invest in bifocals because I'm struggling here. Yeah. Are others experiencing this? Oh, Pip, someone said, how many people did have offered the B2B app currently? I didn't see the figure. Did you get to see that?
How many people? Sorry, say again.
When we asked how many suppliers on the call currently have a B2B solution for their customers, I didn't see the figure.
It's there we go. 19% do and 81% don't.
Right, okay. And that just proves that what the opportunity is. The other thing is, if we onboard for you, we don't put any limitation that you can't use that app within your business, because once you've developed with us, that app with SwiftCloud is built. So you can start to use that in totality for your business. Someone's asked a question, can non-borough members come on the stand if we took a space? Non-borough members, I would think you're meaning non-borough suppliers. If a non-borough supplier wants to be on the stand, that's not a problem for us. It's all about trying to get more suppliers to borough bidders. We'd obviously like to convert you to a borough direct supplier, but yeah, you certainly can. I think with Ambiente being cancelled, I think it's really important as an industry we pull together. And that's why we're working with Beta. We don't have all the same suppliers, but it's all about trying to grow business for our members. Someone has said the sound quality is pretty poor. I apologise for that. I think that's part of this issue about working from various different remotes, so apologies.
I think that's everybody.
I think that's all.
Can we attend Spring Fair as a visitor?
All right. Can we attend Spring Fair as a visitor? Yeah, of course you can. Anyone can attend, and you're welcome on our site. Our stand is AT70, and if you're only a visitor, come on board. We'd love to talk to you about Borough Direct. We'd also love to talk to you about Near To. But there's a lot going on the stand. I'll be there on the Sunday and the Wednesday. Alan's manning it Monday, Tuesday, but we'll have people there all week. Just want to see as many people as we can, because we're key to supporting the industry, and Spring Fair is not going to be cancelled. Cross our fingers, they're adamant it won't. So, as an industry, we need to get together. More importantly, retailers need to see your products, and they need to see them in person. So I'm all for digital, but let's get some people together, touching and feeling some of the new products. So I believe that's everything covered. What time are we at? Well, 14:59. I wish I planned everything that well. Can I just say, look, thanks to all those, we've got over 100 people dialed in. So I really appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. Hopefully it's been useful. For Alan, David and Pip, it's useful for you to see them haven't, but also, as a business, we're all about supporting our members. And, hopefully that's come over in the presentation. And Borough Direct's had a fabulous year last year, but it's only had a good year because of your support, suppliers. So more important than anything else, firstly, thank you for all your support last year. And we want to give it back in terms of how we're investing in the business, but also in this sector. So for those that will be at Spring Fair, please come and see us, if just to have a coffee and say hello. And for those that are not, if you want a copy of the presentation, please let us know. So from everyone on this team, Borough Direct, thanks for dialing in and really appreciate your support. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.